Los federales tratando de contener lo que pueden, pero es imposible por número.
Developing news at 11. Tensions escalate in Tijuana as migrants charged toward the border and clashed with police. Border agents fired tear gas.
Yeah, and the port of entry was closed for hours today amid all of that chaos. And CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen, he is live at the San Ysidro port entry tonight with the very latest. Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening to you, Chris and Amy. This is a footbridge that connects the United States to Mexico. And as I step aside, you can see the port of entry near San Diego where those bright lights are. Right now, traffic through that checkpoint is flowing in both directions after it was shut down for hours.
It took me like 10 hours to get back here to San Diego.
This was the chaos that got Americans stuck on the Tijuana side of the border with Mexico near San Diego. As hundreds of migrants rushed the checkpoint, Brock Robertson saw it firsthand as he tried to come home before noon.
They went from the new border across to the old border, and then they ran up and jumped onto a train.
That led to U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents using tear gas because, as they tweeted, today several migrants threw projectiles at the agents in San Diego. Border Patrol agents deployed tear gas to dispel the group because of the risk to agent safety. Several agents were hit by the projectiles. Laura Flores lives in Tijuana. She says people there are not happy with the migrants from Central America who have moved into the border town. She says the use of tear gas is upsetting, but
they're better than real bullets for sure, but we need to protect our borders.
We found Omar Palayo trying to get home to Southgate, which isn't far from downtown LA. He was in TJ playing for an amateur baseball team.
Hopefully it stops because the coach actually told me he wants me to come back next week, so I'll probably have to deal with this again.
Everyone we talked to said border security is important, but how to deal with images like these are as divided as the border itself.
They're intruding. It's ridiculous and unlawful.
They've had a kind of a long journey from Honduras or El Salvador, so you can say, you feel sympathetic to those people that want to come to the USA.
Tijuana police say that 39 people have been arrested. In the meantime, the Mexican government says that anyone who has been identified as having tried to cross the border illegally will be processed for deportation. Live in San Ysidro, Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
All right, thank you, Jeff, and we will keep following this developing story. We'll bring you new information as soon as it comes in.
And now to developing news in Lancaster. A sheriff's deputy opened fire on a man they say threatened a woman hanging holiday lights at her home. Deputies say the man was armed with a knife. This happened in the area of 48th Street West and Avenue J around 4 this afternoon. The man was taken to the hospital. We're told he is still alive. No one else was hurt.
Well, a hate crime investigation is underway after some people in a Hancock Park neighborhood said a driver targeted them because they're Jewish. CBS 2's Joy Benedict spoke to one of the victims.
This guy had exactly one thing in mind: let's run over these people.
It's hard to see in this security video as this driver makes a hard U-turn after something caught his eye.
We both scrambled in different directions, so he slammed on his brakes and obviously missed us, thank God.
This victim doesn't want us to show his face, but says he and his friend were the target as the driver reversed and tried to hit them again.
He clearly was going at us, and then it was even more clear when it was round 2.
The reason seems unthinkable. It happened here on La Brea and Hancock Park on a corner with a couple of synagogues and on the Sabbath, where many walk around in traditional attire.
Beeping and screaming, effing Jew, effing Jew, effing Jew. Why he chose us? Probably because of the yarmulke on our heads.
Thankfully, both this man and his friend got out of the way. But then they heard a crash. A home security camera caught the same car plowing through this stop sign just moments later.
I think this guy had thirst for blood on his fingers.
A witness snapped a photo of this Quran on his dashboard. And although no one says the driver, Muhammad, verbalized his own religion, folks in this community say targeting someone else's is always a hate crime.
I just think that this is much more of a violent, scary world than we all thought it was. We had like a few years of civility after the Holocaust, and now that window's closing.
The crash site is about 5 blocks away from where the original incident took place. The driver was arrested here, taken into custody for assault with a deadly weapon, and a possible hate crime.
You can clearly see it in his face that he just wanted to do something.
Which is why this victim was a little disappointed that he says he had to ask for a sergeant before the responding officers would listen to his concerns that this was more than just a car accident.
We live with it every single day, and we live in fear, and we hope and pray that the LAPD and the FBI and whoever else is involved in this case and every other case takes things like this a lot more serious than the initial response was.
Because this community knows the next victim may not be as agile or as lucky, and living in fear isn't living.
There definitely was a God watching us.
Joy Benedict, CBS 2 News.
Tonight, the roads are packed with people returning home from the holiday weekend. Take a look. Sky 2 was over the 5 freeway in the Santa Clarita area. This was taken just a short time ago. As you could see, a traffic nightmare. All you could see was a sea of red and white lights. And take a look at this, a live look at LAX. What a mess. Travelers, they're trying to get home, facing bumper-to-bumper traffic at the airport. It's been at a virtual standstill all night long. And if you didn't know, today's considered one of the busiest travel days of the year. Now, it's been going slow all day at LAX as hundreds of thousands of travelers made their way through. And while flights seemed to come and go much of the day, travelers told us the real problem was getting home from the airport. As traffic overwhelmed the loop, some Uber drivers were unable, or in some cases unwilling, to get to that pickup spot.
Waiting for an Uber has been pretty frustrating. I've had to Uber pools cancel on me just because they don't want to come in.
Rather insane. My Uber driver was quite clever and maneuvered very well.
Quite clever. Interesting choice of words. Well, airport officials warn that tomorrow is going to be just as busy, so they suggest giving yourself plenty of time to get to your flight. All right, a big blizzard in the Midwest. It's complicating travel plans from Kansas to Chicago. More than 30 million Americans in 15 states are under weather alerts. Hundreds of flights into and out of the storm have been grounded. Some airlines are allowing people to change tickets for free.
Well, it's almost time for the exciting countdown as NASA's InSight lander gets closer to touching down on Mars. It is scheduled to arrive just before noon tomorrow, our time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And today, the NASA mission team gave a final update on the journey.
Yeah, CBS 2's Lori Perez joins us now with details. Lori, so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, this is so cool. Scientists went into great detail today, describing what exactly it will take to land successfully on Mars and what we stand to gain if InSight makes it. Best said, the mission team has high hopes and realistic expectations.
Liftoff of the Atlas V.
Scientists know exactly where they want to end up. It's the getting there, and specifically the final moments of the trip, that has them holding their breath. In the last 6.5 minutes, as the InSight lander plunges towards Mars, they say the 800-pound spacecraft will have to drop from 12,300 miles per hour to 5 in order to safely land. It'll take a lot of science, like a supersonic parachute, and then, frankly, a lot of luck, as InSight free falls before the reverse thrusters kick in.
We take the risk because it takes that risk to have that reward. The reward that has opened our understanding of worlds near and far.
If arrival goes well, and it's a big if because only 40% of Mars missions have landed, InSight will study the deep interior of the planet, mapping the inside of Mars in 3 dimensions, deploying solar panels and a robotic arm to place a seismometer and a heat probe to track temperature and quakes. Scientists say the crust of Mars is a snapshot into what Earth's crust might have looked like 4.5 billion years ago and could help explain planetary evolution.
In order to understand the formation of the Earth, the way that the Earth evolved into a planet which is habitable, which has oceans, which has an atmosphere, which has a nice temperature. If you're not in New York right now, at least it's a nice temperature, and whereas other planets did not go that way.
And the Jet Propulsion Lab in Pasadena will host some live feeds tomorrow, including one between 11 a.m. and 12:30 with live landing commentary, and another featuring mission audio from right inside Mission Control. Scientists could know by noon if InSight landed, but there's a chance they might not know for hours or even days. Back to you.
Still exciting. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, and it'll be live too, which is the best part. So.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well, Well, Russia fires shots and seizes some ships.
Yeah, that developing story coming up. Plus, some streets still closed tonight in Hollywood. We'll have highlights from the Christmas parade.
Also ahead, Cyber Monday scams, what to watch out for before you buy.
And he's not your average bear. This one stood up, opened a door to a CHP office. Amber?
And we had a wonderful weekend here in Southern California. Temperatures started to warm up and the warming trend continues, but now we're also tracking rain. I'll break it down for you.